What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Uncle Dad Talks. It's been a long time. It's been a whole week since we've sat together and recorded. We are hanging out. Of course, I am Uncle Dad, and with me, as always, is my hetero life mate, the one and only JustMike.
Okay, that's a new one that you've come up with.
To be fair, I didn't come up with that. I stole that from Kevin Smith.
Who does he say that about?
I wonder who.
Jason
Jason
Mewes
Mewes. Yep.
or Ming Chen? Our friend Ming Chen.
Another great segue, because what we're going to talk about is Comic Con, and who we hung out with was Ming Chen. You're the king of the segues right now.
I'm
Yeah, so we're going to talk about San Diego Comic Con. Now, to be honest here, everybody, we don't have a whole lot of interview content here. We have a couple of interviews that we're going to throw in there, but nothing too crazy. The biggest one I just want to shout out is the team behind the Comic Con Cruise Volume 2. They were amazing, such a fun people to talk to, and really, you guys need to check it out. Go to comicconthecruise.com. You will learn more all about that. I can't tell you guys, and we might be there, maybe, sort of. I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to see if that actually materializes. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Then we could be like Uncle Dad's Love Boat.
Then I'll really have to do the Love Boat logo. Like
Exactly.
I'll have to really do
Oh,
it.
yes. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, now we have to make this happen. Okay, I'm going to email them
We
next.
have to.
Yeah, Mike, so let's talk about that. Talk about Comic-Con real fast. Mike, you've been a veteran of Comic-Con for what, 20 years?
Yes, this was my first year vending at exhibiting or whatever you want to call it at Comic-Con. I went a few years before, not as an attendee, but as a worker person at a booth for the amazing
Barback.
Steve Wyatt. Yeah, a comic back and a comic bin, a comic box back. How about that? Anyways,
Okay.
whatever. I can't hit a home run every time.
No, you can't.
But yeah, 21st year selling my wares there at Comic-Con.
And we also have to shout out who's with us. We also obviously had our content supervisor, Callie Dunlap Art, who also had some incredible Star Wars themed art. What would you call it? Star Wars inspired art?
Sounds like there's a lot of crime where you're at.
Well,
Wow. Sounds like they stopped right out. Sounds like your window.
I was gonna make a joke about something, but I probably shouldn't. It's a bad taste, so I'll stop.
I think I know you're going.
Let's just say I'm a Mexican currently in LA right now. That's all I'll say.
Hey, if anyone knocks on the door, just
Don't answer.
don't answer.
I know my rights.
Okay.
I got too serious right there. Anyways, who are we with?
Yeah. Yes, Callie Dunlap Art. She was there, support for the booth, and also selling. Yeah, she did Star Wars versions of Star Wars planets that were in her style, which were very different. And I know a lot of people at Comic-Con probably don't see Star Wars in that way, and so it was fun to see people come in and check it out and go, wow, and then and sold a few prints. And of course, we had also doing booth support and selling his comic and stickers was the Braccamonster, Brandon Braccamonte. Was selling his Fear City comic as well as his stickers and other fun stuff. So yeah, it was a fun, full booth.
And we also had sex appeal support by Terry Mack.
Right. Yeah. Limited time of sex appeal support.
Yes, right. Or what did he say? He was the diversity hire.
Yeah, it's amazing you can still get those in these days.
Which I told him joke's on him because I technically were the diversity hire.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Probably. It's probably the last year you're going to get a diversity hire.
That was worth it. Yeah. So yeah, we were at Comic Con again this year, and I just want to talk about it. Kind of my thoughts and your thoughts. So I thought Comic Con this year, at least in the perspective as somebody who goes as press, right? Not as somebody who's selling in a booth. You can give me your perspective on that. But somebody who was going as press, I think it was the weakest this time around. Usually we had a lot of people kind of reaching out to us saying, hey, let's do this, let's do that. But unfortunately, a lot of it kind of either just didn't become into fruition or there was a problem here or there. You know what I mean? And I find that, hold on one second, everybody.
Uh-oh, I think Ice just got him.
All
Oh, he's
right,
back. Yeah.
that's so much better. Okay.
Wow. You've never done a set change in the middle of a show before. That's great.
Yeah, I haven't, yeah.
Oh.
So anyways, yeah, it was a little bit harder to get interviews. I think a lot of the people didn't really want to talk. We do have some stuff in the work post, post the show, which will come in down later episodes. But I don't know, man. All in all, I just felt the energy was weird. People really just seemed like this is the most I've seen people just strictly wanting to buy things. Like it didn't really seem like they were really there for the curators or stuff like that. That I felt at least. Maybe I'm wrong in that. I don't know, but that's definitely how I felt. And I also felt that while it was pretty full and there was a lot to do, I also kind of feel like there wasn't enough to do because everything you just waited in lines that were just the longest I've ever seen them. And this is my fourth year doing press there, and so yeah, I don't know. I was just curious on your thoughts, sir.
Yeah, I think that is kind of a common theme with a lot of people I talked to this year, that it just wasn't, it kind of felt almost reflective of the way things are going in the country right now, I guess. It felt very like commercialized and corporate, and there was some cool stuff like that. Like Lego had a humongous booth this year. They
Yes,
always have a big
huge.
they've had a big area the last several years, but it seemed like it doubled, and they had built a whole indoor outdoor convention center of Comic-Con, with attendees and everything. That was really cool. But like you said, unless you were there in the hour they opened it to exhibitors before they opened it to attendees, you could not get to it. Like, it was so many people. I feel like the 4.5 days we were there, I left the booth a total of maybe 2.5 hours. One of those hours was to get Frank Miller's autograph, which I waited in a long line for, after Brandon magically rolling a die and getting me a wristband to wait in that line. The other time was Sunday, and I wanted to go see friends. That's pretty much why I wanted to walk around, but it was so exhausting to just get from one place to another. And people, I just feel like, are more mindless than ever. They're less aware than ever. People are just stopping in the middle, standing, walking slow, bumping in, like colliding straight into you. It was so exhausting that I just gave up. Like, I didn't even want to go into Artist Alley when I got all the way down there, because it's just exhausting. And
Yeah.
and one other thing that we noticed a big change in the shift in. And so Comic-Con has hired they have new people come in every year, but it seemed like they had a lot of new faces that I've never seen. It was rare that I saw a face of someone I actually knew that worked there. And they have different security teams working. And it seemed like there was, I don't know, 3 or 4 different security teams. One doing this part, one doing the badge check, one doing the sweep at the end. And, then there's the convention center staff, and one doesn't communicate with the other. And then the security, it just seemed like, I don't know, the security were like trying to be like, they were like Comic-Con ICE agents or something. Like, they were they were it was so aggressive and so rude and so
Oh
mean,
yeah.
and like, and not just to like to the attendees, but like to the exhibitors, like forcing us to walk all the way down to the opposite end of the convention center to go in one door, where you walk in and they check your badge, then you scan your badge, then you walk through another 2 people that are wearing a completely different security outfit. They check your badge. Then you walk to another roped off area where another guy checks your badge. Then you finally get to the front door, where you can't get there unless you got a badge, and they still, can I see your badge? And this is now after 9 a.m. when they've already let attendees in.
Right.
And so it has taken us 45 minutes just to get into the hall. So now we're opening the booth late. Like, there are people in the booth working during breakdown. Security just comes and kicks people out of the booth when they're just there to work. Like, it just felt like things really did take a shift. You're right. Like the consumerism was way up. I don't know. The attendance, I don't know if it was just more people at once, but it just felt like it was so packed. And yeah, there wasn't really a lot of like substance. It was just a lot of stuff. if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
a lot of things to buy, a lot of these exclusives, right? And like, yeah, that's cool. Like, that's great. I mean, that is kind of like a neat thing to have, right? Oh yeah, but honestly, as a whole, it was just you brought up the security thing, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm glad you did. Uh, there was a couple incidents like where I was like I got a phone call and I'm trying to answer the phone call. And we're moving, so I'm not going to be the guy who's like in the way. So I try to, move to the side, and then security goes, "You can't stand there. You got to go this way." And it's like, okay. So then I move around, and he goes, "You can't stand here. You're going the wrong way. Go this way." Like, how do I know that? How do I know that I can't stand here? How do I know that I can't go this way? You know what I mean? Like, just you're gonna yell at me and tell me that? Like it's and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep the flow of things, but at the same time, if you're just pushing us to move, where are we going? We're just going to collide at some point.
And you're not able to look at what you're looking at. Like
Yeah,
sometimes you can't get into the booth, or it's a big, huge display that they make for people to look at. And
yeah,
unless you go stand inside someone else's booth, so you're not standing in the aisle, which I mean, I don't know. Is that okay? Can I stand in your booth so I can look at the booth across the way?
yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was I don't know if you saw too, Mike. There was a awesome, awesome mural in one of I can't remember the gates, but one of the gates that you would come into like once you're past the check-in where you scan your badge on one of the walls, there was this awesome South Park mural. Did you see that?
No.
It was a huge South Park mural that had basically a replica of the South Park cafeteria, right? Where the characters are all hanging out in South Park in the cafeteria, or sorry, in the not the cafeteria, the gymnasium, sorry. And they're all in there. And like people are standing to look at it because obviously South Park is always popular, but right now they're on super fire, right? And you see South Park, you want to look at it, you want to take photos of it. What does security tell you? Keep moving. You can't stand there. Why is that there then? Why is that there?
How much do you think they paid to put that there so that people would look at it and take pictures of it and post it on their social media? That's the point.
Exactly. And that's why I was like, what are you? And I was able to take one picture, which I'll insert right here. Wow. And,
Wow.
and, but that picture, I'm not kidding you. The moment I took it, he goes, "Hey, you can't stop. You got to go." It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely frustrating. I mean, I saw security outside of our booth. We usually had people kind of hanging outside of our booth waiting to come in because it's small and it would be packed most times. And they were doing line control across from us at Penguin Publishing had, several artists come and do signings, and they would have big lines. And so I think they would assume that people waiting to come into our booth were trying to linger to get in the line. And they were like telling them, "You can't stand here." And they were like, "I'm waiting to get in there." And they're like, "Well, you can't, you got to come back." And I'm like, dude, they're waiting to come in here to spend money with me. Like, don't tell them to come back because they probably won't come back.
exactly,
Like
exactly.
if I got kicked out of an aisle by a security guard because I'm waiting to go into a booth, I'm not going back over there.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
terrible. And what do you do about that, right? Like, what can we do about it? I mean, I guess you can complain. I guess you can have a podcast and complain about it.
Well, and I think talking to a number of different, other artists and vendors, like that was the common theme. And so I think there will be several people that will voice their opinions to the Comic Con, to the people that I hopefully hear it and want to change that, because it already costs so much money to be there.
Yeah,
Like the booths are so expensive. The food is so expensive. All the hotels are double what they normally are. All the
yeah,
restaurants have their Comic-Con menus, which are double the price. Like it costs so much money to be there, and it's a lot of work. And so to go through all that and to get treated like you're an inconvenience to stuff. I mean, it's like you care more about the open space and stuff than you do about the people that are there
yeah.
trying to experience what it is.
Right. Totally. And
Yeah.
I think but also it's a challenge, right? Because if you don't have security, it can get out of hand, right? If you don't have structure, people will take advantage of it, right? So there is a balance of that. But I think I don't know anything about doing an event of this size, obviously, but I imagine there has to be somebody who can control it better. Because how is it that some of these festivals that are massive, bigger than Comic Con, are able to control things very well? You know what I mean? Like there
Yeah.
has to be some of that here.
I've noticed overall, man, and like I notice it at with the guys that were working at the hotel that we were staying at. That like it just, and I notice it at a lot of other festivals we do. The people who are doing security now, it's like they're just becoming more aggressive, and they're trying to get their next training so they can get the next certification to get $1 more per hour. And I think the way the country is shifting, it's just like this kind of enforcement mentality and control. And like, there was a guy, since we're talking about this, telling stories, there was a morning we had to go way down to Hall D. We're waiting to get in. There's a guy, two security people at the door holding up the press. There's like a group of press people with humongous press equipment, big cameras. They're like professional, obviously, and they had press badges, and they were not letting them in. And then the exhibitors were like, "Hey, well, we need to get in. We need to get to our booths." And they're like, "Hang on, we're dealing with the press right now." And then someone shouts, "This is why the convention is going to move to Anaheim." And they rather would have held up the exhibitors from coming in so they could continue to tell the press no. Until finally, one of them says, "Okay, we'll let the exhibitors in, but in orderly fashion," and stands there like, he's a statue or something. And I've been doing Comic-Con, like I said, for 20 years now, and I've seen the security get more intense. So I know that there's a way that it can work like it has in the past without security having to be so intense. Like it's people going in for, a comic convention. We're not, it's not like, I don't know. Where do you
It's
need
not a
security that intense for,
maybe a cannabis convention.
Maybe, but like everyone's all smoked out and chill there. Like
I guess that's true too. You're right. Maybe at a like I don't know, an
maybe,
aggressive
how about a gun convention? Yeah.
Hey, hot topics today.
I know, I'm all fired up.
uh, okay, so to go on that real fast, all right. So why do we feel you say that security is becoming authoritative, I guess is the word. I've noticed that myself. So I'm not going to disclose exactly what I'm doing just yet, but I'm currently at another convention, and I'm with uh, I'm with somebody right now, and they were explaining to me that they had an altercation where one of the security guards was trying to be inappropriate with them. And my problem with that is, how do we even trust the security guards? Like, do they choose to be, you know, when to be good or when to be bad? And how do we also, at that same point, why are we not vetting these people better as well?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it takes to be a security guard. It seems like sometimes not much, but I think they're just people. I think people that choose to go into that, I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe for some of them, it's because they want to feel that sense of authority over people or control. And, let's be honest, not all security guards look like they can deal with much, but they can report it. And then
Yeah.
other people will just rush you right out of there. So, yeah, it's weird, and I just feel like it's getting weirder. And what are we gonna do but just keep saying, "Wow, this is really weird what's happening."
Well, I guess at some point we just stop going.
Yeah, I mean, but I do think it's important to talk about, and
Yeah,
I know we're not the only ones that thought this, and I do hope people like voice their concerns, because how else does anything get addressed if you just keep quiet about it? So
for sure. For sure. And I'm sure, like, I don't have any statistics, but I'm sure if I were to pull them up, I'm sure there was incidents that happened at the convention that were reported. You know what I mean? Like, I'm curious. Actually, I would be curious to know about what happened. There we go. Uncle Dad's security report. That'll be next year.
it should be public for everyone to see.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah. Well, before we wrap up, Mike, after that riveting conversation with depressing subjects, but you know what? It's real shit, and sometimes we got to do that here. I do want to ask you, who's your favorite Power Ranger from the original days?
The Black Power Ranger.
Ooh, yeah, he's a great one. He is a great one. I just bring that up because I did get to meet Amy Jo Johnson. That's probably the biggest highlight I got. Such a sweetheart. She gave me some advice about life, gave me some romantic advice, and she had a smile that could light up a room, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I know she was definitely. I remember. I mean, they were all Cool. I say Black Power Ranger because I got to meet him at a Stockton Con, and we went to one of the dinners together, and we were in the car, and I turned around and he was sitting there, and I did a double take, and he just gives me the nod like, "Yep, it's me," and I go, "Hey," but yeah, but yeah, she was also very cute and a great part of the show. So I'm glad you got to talk to her while I did what I do when I'm not on the show. I was working a booth.
Working in a booth. But Mike, can we wrap up with your story about Frank Miller?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks for asking. I wish I had the book here in front of me, but maybe I'll post it on my Instagram at Mike Hampton Art, and so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. But I have this Batman book called Batman Cover to Cover, and I've been collecting signatures in it over the last, I don't know, decade or so, maybe a little more now, of all the different artists who are in the book, who are like some of the most popular and most important Batman artists. And now there's a handful of them that I have signatures of in this book that are no longer with us, like a Darwin Cook, Neil Adams, Tim Sale.
Wow.
I'm blanking on another one, but yeah. So and I've got some other great ones in there. I've got Bruce Timm and Bill Sienkiewicz, but I didn't have Frank Miller, and I was even willing to pay. And then when I saw what they were charging at some booths, and it's not Frank Miller, it's the booth that was charging, I was not willing to pay.
Can
But
you
I
give
did
us a
see
price?
it was over $100.
Okay, that's a lot.
Which, it's certified and all this stuff. But I think that was more for like people. It was like the comic grading booths where they give you a certificate, and so you could slab it, and now it's worth, all this money. Which I just want this for me. And so you have to. He was signing at the Dark Horse booth. You have to get a wristband. You have to go at a certain time on a certain day to get a wristband. So. But you can't line up early because they don't let exhibitors line up early. So we have to wait until right when they start letting the attendees in, and you have to go in line. And we find out when you get to the front of the line, you have to roll a computer die, a 12-sided die, and you have to get, a 12 or higher. And if you don't get it, you get back in line and do it again. And you do it again until you land, and then you get to ask for a wristband. Hopefully, they still have wristbands left of the person you want an autograph from, because it was for like 4 or 5 different artists. Me and Brandon Braca Monster he was helping me try to get a wristband. I go up, I roll, I fail. He goes up, he rolls, he fails. I go up, I roll again, I fail again. And I turn around and look, and Brandon's like, "You look like you had to look like you just could not believe that you lost again." And I couldn't. And I looked at the line, and it was crazy long. And so I was like, well, that's it. I'm not getting it unless he gets it, and he got it.
Whoa.
So yeah, thanks again to Braca Monster for luck and rolling that and giving me the wristband. So I go back and I asked the Dark Horse booth earlier in the day. I said, "Hey, what time do people start lining up for Frank Miller?" Because he was signing at 6. And they go, about 5 minutes before. So I'm working my booth. So I go back 5 minutes before, and I am the last person in line because people have obviously been there a long time. So they lied to me.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah, I did. I was the last person to get a signature from him. And the guy, I didn't have my phone. So the guy behind me was nice enough to take a picture and send it to me.
Oh.
And I showed him my book, and I said, "Hey, I've got all these." And he really appreciated that, what I was getting signed. And then I brought him a Vermont hat, a Bart Bridge Vermont hat, because that's where he's from. And everybody, if you know Frank Miller, you know the type of hats he wears. They're not flat brim trucker hats. They're like those black, what are those hats? Those like detective hat or something. I don't know. And he looked at it and he goes, "Oh, that's my home state." And I go, "I know, that's why I brought it for you. I made this design." He looked right in my eyes and gave me the sweetest smile and reached out and shook my hand. And we just had a moment, like just really giving us some intentional, energetic looks there. And I said, "Man, thank you for what you do." Because, I like to think that he's one of the people who has excelled to the highest level at what he does.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And, meeting those people, like we've met a few, it's just something that you can feel it from them when you're in their presence, especially if they're with you. I saw him sign the stuff for other people, and it was sign the comic, quick, move along. And I got to have I think a little more genuine moment, which to me means a lot. And thank you, Frank Miller. And I don't know, maybe he'll wear that hat someday. But I told him he could just put it on his mantle. I said, I know you don't wear hats like this, but maybe you put it on your mantle.
So here's the big question: when's he coming on the show?
I don't know. I'll have to.
That was the opportunity.
Yeah, it didn't feel like there was a sense for that kind of opportunity. By the time, so what they were doing was you could get one personal thing signed and one of the Dark Horse Sin City prints they were giving out signed. And by the time I got there, all you could get was one thing, either the print or your book, because they were like, by this time it was like 7. It was closed. The hall was closed. So it didn't feel like it was the time to pitch, hey, come on our podcast,
Hey, one day, Mike. One day.
You gotta read the room, and I read, and that's what happened. And there you have it.
That's a beautiful story, man. I love that. I love when those moments happen, man. We've had that happen to us a couple times, and when that happens to you, man, I think it's beautiful. I think if I could pick a curator that I could meet like that, which I know I probably never will, it's Alan Moore. That would.
Yeah, Alan Moore. I don't know. I heard he's a little stiff.
Yeah, but still, you can't deny what that guy's done.
No, I mean, I think it'd be great. Like, he's got a great mind and a great way of telling the story. And I also think he just hides in obscurity. Like, he doesn't come out, right? So
yeah, he does.
But if you ever run in,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying maybe you'll run into him at a coffee shop or something.
Yeah, in Europe.
In countries like Europe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not here. What I was going to say was, I think the other artist I would like to see would meet, and I think he's alive still, is Robert Crumb.
I think he's also in a country in Europe.
Well, I'm fucked.
Yeah, you better not travel outside the country, man. You better stay put.
I can't go nowhere. Goddamn it. I hear the sirens again.
Coming.
Well, all right. On that note, that's Comic-Con 2025. We just complained a lot, but that's okay. I just want to say, Mike, it's always a good time when we get to do that show. Next year, I think I might tackle it a little differently. I don't know if you're going next year or not, but if you are going, I think I will come. But I think this time I'm going to come as just an attendee first.
Well, we'll see. I'll be there. I'll have my booth. I'm hoping to upgrade to a bigger booth, but we'll see. Maybe they will change the way they are operating things between now and then. And it'll be better.
That's true. Well, as always, go follow us on Instagram at Uncle Dad Talks or at Mike Hampton Art. You'll see all that good stuff that he talked about. There's a very cute reel that he posted about our little adventure that we had. You can see him hanging out with Rosie O'Donnell. It's pretty nice. And of course, you can see Uncle Dad pop up here and there too. All right, everybody. Remember, we're not uncles, we're not dads. We're just someone you can talk to, and we'll see you all next week.
What's up, everybody? Uncle Dad here, hanging out with the one and only. You haven't heard his voice in a while. You haven't been here like in 3 episodes. Give it up for the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, JustMike.
Hi, I'm here. I'm back. Nothing's changed.
You look younger.
Well, thanks. I've been working on that.
Yeah. What serums are you taking?
12 serums.
12 serums a day. My favorite serum is anything Korean.
Tell me more about it later.
I will. And I talk about skincare because what we're going to talk about right now is something very important with this type of topic, and that's cruises. You got to have good skin when you're on the cruise. Am I right?
You have to have a good sunblock.
Exactly, because your skin is very important. The reason why, don't give me that look. So the reason why I have such great skin is because I take care of myself because I'm so excited for this cruise. And we're talking about the San Diego Comic-Con, The Cruise, Volume 2. Are you excited for that?
We're talking about the Comic-Con cruise while we're at Comic-Con.
I forgot to mention that, but I thought they were listening already, so they knew. But I hear you. Thank you.
That's kind of exciting.
It's very exciting. And we are with, I'm so sorry I didn't get your full name.
That's okay.
But I'll let you introduce yourself because you're full of energy. You also have great skin.
Thank you.
Let's give it up.
It's the substance.
Oh, I know that reference. Did you know that reference, Mike?
Yeah, I know the reference.
You do kind of look.
Oh, do not butter me up. You're not getting a free cruise. Wish if I could, I'd give you one right now. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Gasparolo, and I am one of the cruise directors for Comic-Con the Cruise.
So, just I gotta ask a fast question.
Yes.
How does one become a cruise director for Comic-Con?
You do improv in a lot of bars and coffee shops in your 20s, and then you get old and crusty and jaded, and then you take the substance, and then you become a cruise director.
That's kind of like your story, Mike.
I just need the substance. Yes. Yes.
That was it.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
So Comic-Con the Cruise, this is now volume 2, meaning it's the second one around. For those who don't know what the Comic-Con the Cruise is, can you just kind of give us a brief kind of description of what that is?
Absolutely. So it is a convention on the open seas. So we completely charter and take over a ship. And last year we were on Royal, this year we're on Celebrity. And none of the traditional activities are happening. We have panels, Q&As, workshops, Comic-Con themed events, cosplay, costume contests. I mean, literally anything you can think of that you can find at a convention, we will have a version of it on the ship.
Wow. So Mike, you've been going to cons since like way back. What is your thoughts of a con on a cruise?
Well, it's an interesting concept. So when you talk about aspects of Comic-Con, my first Comic-Con was, I think, 2000 or 2001, something like that. And Comic-Con was very different back then. But so will there be comic book dealers selling Gold and Silver Age and maybe Bronze comics on this?
Well, we have not decided our full exhibitors and Artist Alley persons, but we did last year and we will again have Artist Alley and exhibitors. So those haven't been decided yet. We can be hopeful for that, but I can't reveal any of the exhibitors or artists at this time.
Well, she wrote it down right now. I see it. I'm looking at it, and let me tell you, wow, Mike, it's crazy.
It's quite a list.
That's quite a list. Wow.
Listen, if you share this list, I will have to. Actually, we're on mic, so I'll just be happy. Yeah, hi.
Well, don't worry, but I'll tell you that one name. Wow.
Yeah. Well, now we have to go on the cruise.
Now we have to go on the cruise, and you do too. But before we get into that as well, so what is the challenge of like conceptually, right? Like making a Comic-Con cruise. That has to be like a massive challenge.
Well, it absolutely is. I will say there's a lot of thought, detail, passion put behind it because this is created by fans for fans. So we want to make sure that we are reaching as many different people and fandoms as possible. Of course, there are limits. Our cruise ship is not as big as the convention center and surrounding hotels. So we take every single space on that ship and we maximize what we can do with our programming. But that can be a challenge, wanting to make sure we have something for everyone. But I believe in my heart of hearts that we do. For example, if you like dressing up, if you like cosplay, then you're welcome to do that. If you don't want to dress up and you just want to chill, you are welcome to go to the hot tub, go to the library. We have a gaming room. It's expanded this year because guests were wanting more and more games. We have that happening. We have a full Dungeons and Dragons room where you can just show up. We have all of what you need, everything. We have DMs. If you've never even done it before, they will help you. They will teach you. We have insane panels. We have game shows. So something I will say, there were challenges, but we also have the opportunity in these venues to put like, have you ever seen Hollywood Squares or like Family Feud? So we get to do that with our celebrities. So I got to host last year a Family Feud where we had all guests, but it was with George Takei and Warwick Davis. So it was Star Trek versus Star Wars. And it was just amazing. Like, you're not going to see that here, unfortunately, but you can see it on the ship.
On the high seas, if you will.
Yes.
Right, Mike?
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
George just came on by.
Wow, and your skin's so great.
Yeah, indeed.
With the initial Comic-Con cruise going into this one, what has been the feedback that you got that you guys are trying to really, I guess, correct, if you will, like kind of enhance the, like, what was like the number one type of feedback you got?
So I will say, first and foremost, because we are smaller, we value and can take guest feedback and actually implement it and put it in a lot of times. So for example, we had separately our Artist Alley and our exhibitor area. And everyone was saying we'd really prefer if it was all in one space. And so this year we are doing that, and we're looking to expand it and invite more folks to come on the ship. That's one example. The other feedback we've gotten, I mean, nothing has been said about this, but we've been asked for more karaoke, which I love karaoke. So if I have anything to do with it, we'll have a room where you can just go in and sing all day, but that's not going to happen. But I love it. We love that people are just wanting to do more to kind of show off what they've got. We also are doing a catwalk, a fashion show catwalk for our cosplay and costumes, as well as a costume contest. Because some people, they don't really want to do the contest, but they sure want to strut their stuff and show it off. So that's the kind of feedback we've received, and we are implementing it immediately the next year.
May I make a suggestion?
Ooh.
I think it'd be really cool. I don't know if you guys do this yet, but to have maybe like a Comic-Con or a comic themed drag show.
Oh, I would live for it. I would want drag queens, drag kings, drag dogs, drag cats.
That's the thing? Drag cats?
Yeah.
God. Mike, we should go to them.
Don't discriminate against drag cats, bro.
Especially the cats, you're right.
The cats will come for you.
Oh, I know that. So before we wrap up, where can our audience learn more about this? How do they go on the cruise? And I don't know if you can discuss cost at all, but like all that good stuff.
So they can go to comiconthecruise.com, and we also are on socials. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and we'll be posting a lot. If you're here in San Diego this weekend, please come by to the booth. That's where they can find all the information. And the cabins, I will say right now, if they go on and they look at booking, I don't have the exact price in front of me, but right now we are doing a guaranteed interior pricing deal, right? We're sold out of our interior cabins right now, technically, but sometimes they open up because people's plans change. So if you lock in that guaranteed interior cabin price, if an interior cabin doesn't open, we will upgrade you with no extra cost. So we really want to make this as accessible as we can in our beginning years while we still can. We want to get as many people on the ship and just, have a great time.
That's incredible. Mike, I hope we can go. Maybe we can. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. That's my favorite answer. We'll see. Mike, any last words?
Yes. Jess, what is your go-to karaoke song?
You have asked a very tough question because I live for karaoke, depending on the mood and the room. I will say you have to read the room and see what's going to get the people going. I love singing Tenacious D. I can't say the name of the song that I sing because it has a bad word in it, but it's a great song. I would sing any Tenacious D. I also love singing Enter Sandman by Metallica. It's a great one. And any Weezer or I don't know. I'm a little rock girl, so any of that kind of stuff.
What about some Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Oh, yeah, I get down with that. What would be yours? I'm curious. If you were on Comic on the Cruise, what song would you want to sing?
Let's hear Mike first.
Well, I would love to sing Red Hot Chili Peppers, but they're very hard to sing. I've tried, but my go-to is usually Curtis Blow. These Are the Breaks.
Wow. I only really know one good song very well, and that's it's probably the worst one to say on mic, but it's Tupac's, and it's Tupac, I Get Around.
Oh.
Why?
It's a great song.
Thank you. I wasn't saying anything about myself. Thank you.
Of course not.
I think that's all I got, but I do have one last fun thing to ask you. So I made reference about our show being the Love Boat of the podcasting world. Are you familiar with Love Boat?
Yes, we had Ted Lange on last year, and he taught everyone how to make drinks.
Oh my, that's amazing.
Oh, it was amazing. It was. He's a sweetie.
So if to end this episode, if you could have like your first day is like the Love Boat, who is the guest star? That's the first guest star on the porthole. Any star you want.
Living or dead?
Living or dead.
I am obsessed with Pee Wee Herman, and I would have Paul Rubens. He would be my main man. I would make sure I was in every scene with him of that episode. We would get into some hijinks. It would be my dream.
Can you do his laugh?
Oh, no. I know you have, but what am I?
That's pretty good. All right. Go check it out. Comic Con the Cruise, Volume 2. Maybe we'll be there, maybe we won't, but no matter what, you should be there. And that's all that matters. Mike, say goodbye.
Make a like a high, make a honey ho.